Wouldn't it be better to tip all the money into that? I mean, I remember being in Cardwell and Tully after Cyclone Yasi. It was like seeing a deck of cards that had been flattened. And if you looked at that, you didn't think, well, maybe if their insurance premiums were a bit cheaper, it'd be fine. You thought, you just can't build those types of properties up there.
Well, it's twofold, Tom, and I think there's still, we live in a very advanced society, and I think we can live in those places. I don't think we should dehabitate Northern Australia in any way, shape or form. We're a smart nation. We can back ourselves with new technology that will be able to make sure our housing's stronger. In fact, one of the major insurers in Queensland is in fact doing that. At JCU in Townsville has built a house to be able to work with research to understand what standards will withstand cyclones and floods and bushfires. So we're investing in the smarts, not just retreating just because we think it's too hard. That's lazy. Australians are better than that, and that's what we're saying. Is we're going to invest in making sure we give them the opportunity to do that. And stay up
and I'm not questioning investment.
Enormous opportunity.
But it's a zero-sum game. So the $10 billion pool to reinsure, how much will that be drawn down on each year? How much will the taxpayer effectively be subsidising each year in this scheme?
Well, look, I think the Assistant Treasurer and the Prime Minister are pretty clear on that. It obviously depends on what happens with respect to natural disasters, and not one year is always different to the next. And so obviously that's why that's being worked through with the Insurance Council now to make sure that they have comfort and understanding of how this will work. But we're also giving them that comfort. And you only have to go to the media to understand and hear the statements of the insurers saying they want to see public mitigation works and household mitigation works done, which is what will drive down prices. So I respect the ACCC, but when we have insurance companies telling us this is what will drive prices down for people in Northern Australia, I tend to think they're the ones that are going to send the bill, so I'm going to listen to them.
I wanted to ask you finally about China, you know, the background there, and you're talking about good prices, and that always relies on multiple buyers. Suspending economic ties with Australia, is this bad news for farmers?
Oh, it's disappointing, but Australia's been consistent from the start, is that we will continue to have our hand out for dialogue. It takes two to have dialogue, and the best way to resolve any difference is through dialogue. So our position hasn't changed. Obviously, we're deeply disappointed by it, but the world moves on, and what we've been able to do in Australian agriculture is diversify our economic base, our markets, and we've seen that already with barley. We were hit with barley. We sent our first boatload of barley to Mexico for their beer, and we found a new market for 750,000 tonnes in Saudi Arabia. They've also given us extended shelf life in Saudi Arabia, and the Indians have given us better market access for barley as well. So we've been able to send boats left and right, but we want to continue to have that dialogue. When they're ready, we'll be there, but we will not compromise on our values or principles or our sovereignty.
Minister, is China a bully?
No, I don't think calling countries, sovereign nations, names is going to advance the cause and enrich dialogue. We are prepared to have that dialogue with Chinese officials, but they need to understand the values and principles of our nation and the sovereignty of our nation, that as a government, as a sovereign government, we will protect. There's been over 100,000 Australians who've lost their lives protecting that. And our legacy as the custodians into the future is to make sure we never relent on anyone trying to ask us to do things that is against that. And that's what this government won't do. And once they're prepared to understand that, then we're ready to have enriched dialogue with them.
Minister, we'll let you go, perhaps fit in one more steak sandwich, and they might add some lettuce to it for you.
Just for a bit of garnish, mate.